Hi, this is G from Energy Blendz, where it's all about the energy. At Energy Blendz, we design recipes for creating crystal energies. And in this particular piece, we're building upon the first two videos that I did. The first one was designing energies to create strong positive energy. The second video was combining crystal energies to create a tool to help you cope with anxiety and fear. And this particular combination of energies is building upon that. And we're going to create some energy that will help you to see the bigger picture and flow with the circumstances at hand. Right now we're dealing with a lot of very challenging circumstances, and when those things kind of happen, it's easy to feel angry and powerless and to react in a way that doesn't help the situation but make it worse. So in this recipe, I'm using moldavite, the only tektite or meteorite from outer space considered to be hard enough to be cut and polished into a gem. I'll be adding to that iolite, which is a blue-purple stone, and pink tourmaline. And of course I'll be using gold-filled wire, 14-karat gold-filled, and some gold-filled beads. Now I'm using these combination of energies first and foremost because moldavite is a stone that brings tremendous energy to the planet for the purposes of encouraging in a gentle way evolution. It allows for evolution of the person by reorienting or reorganizing and opening up chakras and energy pathways. And it promotes this sense of then taking that healed energy and using it to heal the planet. And it does so in a way that kind of helps to eliminate that sense of resistance. Iolite is a blue-purple stone. It does come in other colors, but I specifically like this particular vibration. The first time I ever experienced this energy, I was holding a ring made with iolite and two small pieces of green tourmaline, similar to the recipe that we're working today. And I put it in my hand face down and felt a rush of energy come through my head and out my throat. And I knew right away that this is a stone for channeling. What the energies of this stone is all about, it's to encourage that bigger viewpoint, to see exactly what the whole story is, and to encourage a sense of non-resistance, but again, changing, adapting to a circumstance in a way that is more harmonious, more mindful. There is that element of perhaps you're dealing with a karmic issue. You know, you've been that way before. So now you have an opportunity to come up with a different solution to the problem. And then finally, pink tourmaline. And pink tourmaline refers to a lighter hued pink coloring of tourmaline. And the darker color is rubellite. And collectively, they represent a very strong heart-centered energy. You're talking about faith and trust. And again, this element of letting go. Stop fighting against something that you can't control, but instead yield to the circumstances and see if there isn't a different way to resolve the crisis or the issue in a way that is more harmonious, more compassionate, more mindful. So I'm using gold, 14-karat gold-filled energy in the wire, because moldavite is a hot stone. It's got a lot of energy, and I've done custom work with silver and moldavite, and it just never felt right. So I'm going to use gold. Of course, if you find that it's too yang, too intense, too reactive for you, by all means go with silver. So I'm going to take advantage of this shape and create a loop at the bottom and then again around here. And I'm basically going to create a frame, and that's going to be the foundation piece from which we will then start building, adding other elements. So I'll twist once and then twice. I don't quite know how much space I have to work with, so I don't want to twist a whole lot. even though I've said 3 is the magic number. It doesn't always work, and it looks like 2 is too much. So I'm going to undo that one twist that I did. So there's really one twist in between these two sections. I'm going to do one more twist here so that I can come around and allow the wire to loop into this indentation. And I'm really working with the shape of the piece. I'm always working with the idea of allowing the crystal to tell me what it needs. So I have these initial wraps or bands around these points that extend outward. And now I want to create a top part that will hold all of this in shape. And so I'm going to make a few more twists here on this side and feed this wire into where this groove is. Come around in front. One of the wires on the other side will then loop around the back. We'll do our 3 twists because that's the magic number for holding a wrap in place. And the same thing on this side. Now I'm in a position to finish this top part. And because I still have a piece of moldavite left, I think I'm going to take advantage of locking the wire in place, making sure that this piece doesn't get loose. So again, I'm wrapping around a band in the front and in the back, twisting 3 times. Same thing on the other side. Actually, I'm going to do 4. The idea here is to eyeball it and see how much more wire do I need to be able to pull this to the top so that this stone will stay snug in its setting. And I'm going to do one more on this side, and then I will attach at least one of these 2 tails that'll lock the piece in. And again, I'm doing at least 3 twists, and I'm looking at this and I think, you know what, I'm going to do 3 on this side as well. Actually, I think I'm going to do 4. Now comes the time where I start eyeballing and looking at whether or not this is balanced. I want to make sure this loop goes around this edge. There we go. Now I'm not going to lock this piece in the setting until after I've put my beads. Right now I want to get a sense of what do I want to do with the top. And this is a relatively smaller piece, and I'm getting a sense that I need length. So I'm going to create a void here, and I've mentioned voids in my other pieces. A void is synonymous with 0. It's nothing. It represents this notion that out of nothing all things come. It's also representative of the womb and the ability to access more power by accessing from the feminine side, right? Feminine energy is very, very creative. Sometimes it can actually lend a little bit of feminine energy for somebody who's a little bit too yang. And I think I want to do one more. I'm going to do one more small. Let me just make sure that these 2 tails are equal, and they look relatively equal to me. You know, sometimes it's all about the eyeball. Can you tell by looking at it? No, that's a little bit off. So let's do this. I'll wrap this one around, and now that looks a little bit equal. Put these 2 together. There's my magic 3. Pull this one around and use the pliers to then open up that void. Okay, there we go. And here's the basic wrap. I'm not going to worry about making a neck that I'm going to hang a cord through. Right now I want to look at how am I going to add these beads, and that will be in part 2. So we'll be back shortly.